T.O. be in the Hall of Fame?
Not only should he be in the Hall of Fame, it's an embarrassment. It's a disgrace that he wasn't in the Hall of Fame. And as far as I'm concerned, the 48 voters that had a say in it should be ashamed of themselves. The media should be ashamed of themselves. As far as I'm concerned, you know, when people go out there and they talk about how the media is dead or whatever, it's moments like this that give credence. Now, let's be clear. Max Kellerman, exceptional boxing analyst. Donovan McNabb, probably future Hall of Fame quarterback. Stephen A. Smith, mild-mannered reporter, your friendly neighborhood reporter. I've been a reporter for 24 years. And this is one of the problems that I have, which is why I'm glad and honored and proud to have the seat that I have. I swear to you, on everything that I am, I have never, ever diminished the accomplishments of any sports figure on any level because I did not like them. Absolutely not. It's inexcusable. Regardless of how people may feel about Terrell Owens, they have no right to ignore the 153 touchdowns, to ignore the 15,934 receiving yards, which, by the way, were third and second all-time, respectively. We are talking about a wide receiver that it ranks in the top 6 statistical categories in NFL history for a receiver, and you justify not putting him in a Hall of Fame. Why? Because you don't like this man? Oh, we were told that this guy was a cancer in the locker room, et cetera, et cetera. You can speak to that. You're a quarterback. You played with him. I respect that. But at the end of the day, as a media member, we get stuff from dudes all the time. We're very judicious, guys, in what we reveal. Some things we report, some things we don't. At the end, what is paramount is that somebody's accomplishments in a meritocracy that is supposed to be this country, in this sports world, you're supposed to shove all your personal feelings aside and recognize what somebody has done. And the fact that that has been ignored because he is not liked, as far as I'm concerned, the media should turn in their card. They cannot be trusted. I don't think they should even be allowed to vote on the Hall of Fame anymore after this. This is a disgrace.
In fact, if you're a member of the media who votes on this, the danger should not be in keeping him out. The danger should be that in fighting against your own bias against him, if you don't like him, you overrate him. That should be the danger. I mean, this happens to me also covering boxing, for example, and other sports, is if I've met someone and we don't get along or whatever the case may be, my danger is always let me not overrate them because I'm fighting against my own bias, right? It's never like I'm going to undercut them because I don't like them. That's disgraceful. I 100% agree. This is not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't that hard. T.O.'s obviously a Hall of Famer. There are a couple things. One, you know a Hall of Famer when you're looking at him. When you watch T.O. play, you know, that's a Hall of Famer. He was among the 3 best wideouts in the league for a generation. That's a Hall of Famer. 2, do the numbers support what your eyeballs see? Yes, they do. The numbers support it. Longevity, the whole thing. And in terms of, oh, he's a locker room cancer, and I'm sure you can speak to this in a moment, he could be the biggest locker room cancer of all time. His accomplishments, eyeball-tested numbers, would still put him in the Hall of Fame, but I would remind everybody, the man played in 1 Super Bowl, on 1 leg, was criticized throughout the media all that week for being selfish, for wanting to play in the Super Bowl, making it about him, when really he's trying to get out there and help his team. He was the... Apologies. He was the best player on the field. Either team that day.
We just had this conversation about the best player on the field. We're not going to go there. Like, I'm not here to talk the personal aspect of things because obviously everything that we have been through, myself and him, it's been publicized. It's been a big story. Who knows if there'll be a 30 for 30 over it. But the whole thing about it is you have to look at what he's done on the field. And I've always got on Max about get off of Google and stop looking at the numbers. When the man was on the field, did he dominate whoever was in front of him? And that was yes. And that was for years. That was when he was in San Francisco, Philadelphia, when he was in Dallas, when he was in Cincinnati, or even when he was in Buffalo. The thing about Terrell Owens, he makes everyone else better. Now, our wide receiving core before he got there, no need to even mention it. But when he got there, everybody else's game elevated. And we talk about some of the great players that have played this game when we're talking Tom Brady, when we're talking Michael Jordan. Has he made guys around him better? And I can say, yes, Terrell Owens has. But as far as the first ballot is concerned, yeah, I understand that he was a locker room cancer, and that's something for voters can use in their voting. But when you sit a man out with the numbers that he has, ranked second all time in a lot of different categories, but one was ranked third in touchdowns, there is no reason why Terrell Owens should not be in the Hall of Fame. Not to take anything away from the class that went in. Congratulations to those guys that went in. But there is no reason why Terrell Owens wasn't the first name mentioned to be inducted into the Hall of Fame going into this season.
Donovan knows I covered the Philadelphia Eagles, writing for the Philadelphia Inquirer for years, especially when he and T.O. was in the same locker room. And say what you will about all of the effects that he had, that's for another day. There ain't no getting around this. The fact that reporters could sit up there, you are not in that locker room, which basically means you're going through word of mouth. There are people who love T.O., and there are people who thought he was a cancer.
Right.
In the end, for you to sit up there and ignore those numbers, if ever there was a case for the media to be stripped of their right to vote, this is it.
Since when is it a character contest? And if we're going to go there as far, he's never in trouble with the law and anything of that matter. I understand the,
Let's
the
just
locker
say
room
we're all in
issues.
trouble who all are
There are tough calls.
It's a talent contest.
There are tough calls for the Hall of Fame. This is not one of them. This should be easy.
This shouldn't
T.O.'s
be
a
no
Hall
tough
of
call
Famer.
either.
No question. Donovan, thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it.